Hello and welcome to another video. Thanks for tuning in. LSU beats New Mexico 38 zip. Going into this game, we knew LSU was going to win, right? It's like going into the Southern game. You didn't think much of it. I really didn't think much of it. That's why I'm kind of doing today yesterday's video today. I usually do um post game talking about the game every Sunday. I think every now and then I'm gonna do it on Monday, especially for games like New Mexico. I didn't feel the need to have an instant reaction right away. Plus, I was busy yesterday, had to get some things done, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that video today, talking about New Mexico. And I think I'll hint at the game on Wednesday, because Wednesday's like my first sure day. But I don't think I'm really gonna go that deep into New Mexico. Even today's video will be kind of short. Most of Wednesday's video will be on Auburn, talking about Auburn. But yes, New Mexico. So Jaden Daniels, 24 for 29, 279 yards. Later in the game, he has a back strain in the second half. Didn't know really what it was that day. Brian Kelly, eventually explains, okay, he could have gone back in the game. It was a little back strain, nothing to worry about. Sure, he's gonna play on Saturday at Auburn. So Nussmeier goes 9 for 10. Really not much for him to do. The game's kind of out of proportion by then. He had 135 yards. That touchdown that he threw to Brian Thomas Jr. That little long touchdown. So bigger run game today. 219 yards rushing. Looking good. We had over 600 yards of rushing and all. I mean of yardage. 200 over 600 yards of total offense. Noah Kane had 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. John Emery had 45 yards. Godwin had those 2 touchdowns. So, like I said, there's not going to be that much talk about New Mexico. It's New Mexico. There's not much you can really hit on. Our offensive line looked a lot better. Just a lot better in all. I felt like, let's see. I felt like our offensive line gave Daniels more time. There was a few sacks here and there, which still needs to clean up on a team. Let's see, you had 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 sacks, which, listen, on a team like New Mexico, if you're giving away 4 sacks, not going to look any better when you play an SEC team, especially even though Auburn's not very good. They're better than New Mexico, so they're going to even bring it harder. So you don't need to give those sacks away, but still looked a lot better in my opinion. Able to give you running backs some space and some to run. You saw it with the 220 rushing yards. They have that. So LSU kind of picks up the run game. You saw a lot more Besh. Brian Kelly said it in the beginning of the week that they were going to incorporate Besh a lot more, which they did. Even put him at punt returner, which I was not expecting at all. I honestly, I was like, okay, this is smart to put Besh, and then you almost had a touchdown. You could even say the block that they flagged was unnecessary, so I think Besh would have had that touchdown anyway. But yeah, so he had that that punt return for touchdown. Obviously gets called back because of the flag, but sucks. A lot of quick passes, a lot of comeback routes for LSU. You did have that huge Chris Hilton 55-yard catch. just a deep ball, something I like to see. I don't think we've really seen Chris Hilton all season. Um, I don't know why. I don't know if it was injury or anything else. I don't know, but he kind of came out of nowhere. I kind of forgot about him honestly, and then I'm like, you see him make that touchdown. I mean, not the touchdown, that long 55-yard catch, and I'm like, he is so incredibly fast though, and you're gonna need speed like that. So I'm glad they're starting to incorporate him now. So Godwin with 2 TDs in the first half. Noah Kane had 2 TDs in the second half. Then you had a Brian Thomas touchdown. So, like I said, I'm not going to go in depth like I went for Mississippi State because that's a bigger, better game, SEC play. So I'm not going to go that deep into it, but I'm definitely going to touch on some more stuff. Something about we found out today that really, really grinds my gears, pisses me off is 11 a.m. kickoff at Death Valley for Tennessee. Yes, this game is in 2 weeks, technically. You have this week, and you have the week building up. So probably a little less than 2 weeks. But there's so many factors that say, why the hell are you doing 11 a.m. game in Death Valley? First of all, even though it's October, it's going to be hot. Really, really hot. I mean, it doesn't start cooling down in Baton Rouge till late November, right? Like you'll have some Thanksgiving will be hot. So it's going to be hot. You're going to have to get there early, especially if you're in the student section. With a game like Tennessee, a good game like Tennessee, you're going to have to be in the student section 9:30 in the morning. So you're potentially waking up at 7:30, try to get it out to LSU, tailgate. I mean, you're going to have breakfast, really. All in all, I hate 11 a.m. games. I hate 11 a.m. games. I cannot stand them. If you're going to do an 11 a.m. game, make it against a team like New Mexico, where you can give away an 11 a.m. game. I don't give a shit about a game like that. But this is a 8th ranked Tennessee game, like 8th ranked Tennessee football team. Sorry, I can't talk today. And who knows if LSU's ranked by then? If they beat Auburn, you're 2-0 in SEC play, 4-1. Maybe you'll be ranked low 20s, let's say 25th. So potentially ranked game between both your opponents, and you're gonna put Auburn and Georgia at 2:30. It's like I get Texas A&M Alabama. I'll give them that. All right, because that ought to be an okay game, depending on how Texas A&M wants to play. But Auburn and Georgia, South Carolina is a better team than Auburn right now, and you saw the ass whooping that South Carolina received against Georgia. Georgia will be up by 40 points and still get their 2:30 game. It makes no sense to me at all. This is Tennessee. LSU is going to be LSU's biggest, probably best game of the season. Besides Bama. But even then again, you don't know what you're going to get from that Bama game. It could be a close game or it could be a damn blowout. You don't know. But so it makes absolute zero sense that, CBS says, "Hey, you know what? We're going to do Auburn. We're going to do Auburn and Georgia at 2:30 because that's just the better game." Like, it just makes no sense to me. You don't get to have fun in the mornings. Mornings suck. I've been to an 11 a.m. game before. It's really not that great. You go straight to the stadium most of the time. There's really no tailgate. I'm sure there'll still be some people who set up, but there's no really fun to go into. You really just go to the game and leave. And obviously, you're not going to there's a lot of time for 11A games. They're crappier games. They're your New Mexico games or whatever, where you're up by 28 points in the first half and you leave. So 11A games I just hate in general. I don't want to complain because you're gonna have to have 11A games, 11 a.m. games here and there, but still, just makes no sense to me. But besides that, I'll kind of touch on that before the end of the video. You had a dominant defensive what's the word I'm looking for? Stops. Just dominant defense control. Right, LSU's defense didn't let New Mexico score a point. New Mexico is probably a better team than Southern, and you let Southern score what? Southern, I think, scored 2 touchdowns, right? Yeah, it was. They scored 14 points by the end of it. One was like a pick six though, so it doesn't really count. Still, New Mexico scored nothing on LSU, which is good. Your defense is just dominant. It's the best part of your team right now. It's good to have a good defense. Pick up the slack for your offense sometimes. But yes, LSU's offense though is still great. I mean, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, it's just Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas right now is like your Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson wide receiver duo right now, because we really haven't seen that much from Booty. Obviously, he didn't even play this game. He had a son, or did he have a son or a daughter? He had a child. I'll just say that. I forget. I saw it on his Instagram, but congratulations to him. By the way, you saw a lot from Besh, a lot more. Dude is just crazy. He's like a tight end receiver. So like he can truck. He can. I mean, it takes 3-4 guys to bring him down sometimes. You just saw it on the field. Dude's a beast. So you saw a lot more of them getting incorporated. I was glad to see Besh more. So, like I said, really not too much to talk about. Let's see. So what? We're at 13 minutes right now. I kind of want to go for a little bit longer. To have a little bit longer of a video. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about besides hearing about Tennessee. And I talked about Jaden Daniels. He's going to be back, obviously. Brian Kelly says it's a little minor injury. So I'm sure he'll give updates on Daniels throughout the week. I probably should have watched one of his press conferences before this. But anyway, I might even have an extra video. If I'm feeling it tomorrow, I might even do an extra video tomorrow if I hear any updates about anything else as far as what's going on inside, hurt players, what's going on in practice. But yeah, another dominant performance from LSU. Getting back to the Tennessee game, Tennessee beat Florida, right? Ranked Florida 38-33. I watched a little bit of that game. Tennessee's just a good team. They're just a good team. They're not up there with Alabama, obviously, yet, but they're a very good team. Obviously, a team that could beat you. I don't think, a few weeks ago, I might have said Auburn's a throw-up game. Tennessee's a throw-up game as far as, like, who could win, LSU or the other team. But I wouldn't call Auburn a toss-up game anymore, especially how they played against Missouri. Dominant start by Auburn, actually, against Missouri. was 14-0 at one point. Auburn was just driving, but there was so many times when Missouri just gave them that game, especially that last. Missouri had a touchdown in overtime. The guy fumbles it, touchback. Auburn wins the game by 3 points. So I don't think Auburn's a threat. I think we're going to beat Auburn. I think Mississippi State's a better team than Auburn, and we beat Mississippi State, and we dominated them in the second half. So you're going to beat Auburn. I know for a fact. I caught it with Mississippi State. Some people were calling Mississippi State to beat us. I said the day before or a couple days before the Mississippi State game, we're going to beat Mississippi State. And we did. We beat Mississippi State. So I don't think Auburn's a threat. They got pimp slapped by Penn State. Obviously, Penn State's never a bad team, but still, it's Penn State. Oh, yeah, and Texas loses to Texas Tech. I really haven't seen much of that game. Just a couple highlights, but wow, that's crazy. I think Texas was winning 34-17 at one point, and Texas Tech make an insane comeback. They have that. Again, so in Arkansas, I was really hoping to see Arkansas go undefeated until they play like a team like Bama. Does Arkansas play Georgia? I don't know if they play Georgia or not. Let me check their schedule. But I was really hoping them see they'll lose a good team. Wait to lose to a good team. But yeah, and Bama's their next game. So that is 2:30 this Sunday. That's going to be a hell of a game. I have to work this weekend. I'm going to work on away games. But I'll definitely check updates for the Alabama game. It sucks that I missed that, but we'll see what happens with Alabama Arkansas. Sucks that Arkansas lost. I wanted to see them go undefeated until they hit Alabama. They probably would have run the rest of their schedule until LSU. So, but yeah, so you have that. Obviously, still people are pissed. Just right when I saw the update, it was about 3 minutes after they update. Like, because a lot of the games they say to be decided. So even before Google updated, I saw LSU would have 11A game against Tennessee. I laughed. Like, I was like, the first tweet I saw on Twitter, I'm like, okay, this has to be a joke, right? And then I check a few other sources and find that is 11 again. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. You're gonna put one of LSU's best games of the season at 11 a.m. in Death Valley. And I know. Oh, another thing is SEC did fight for LSU to be one of those later games. I would have liked to see. Because in my opinion, LSU Tennessee is a better game than Texas A&M. It's not just bias; it's just more factual. I think Texas A&M is going to lose. You probably Texas A&M is most likely going to lose against Alabama, but you don't know if Tennessee will lose or LSU lose. That's more of a toss-up. So it makes more sense for a closer game like that to be at night versus Alabama. Let Alabama Texas A&M go at 2:30 and LSU go at that. Was it 6:00 or 6:30 that Alabama and Texas A&M playing? I can't remember. But to put them at 11, that's just disrespectful. And sometimes you got to think: does college football, NCAA hate LSU, and does NFL all them hate New Orleans? Because I feel like the Saints and LSU are the two most hated on like football programs as far. You got Saints NFL and then LSU college. I almost feel like Louisiana teams are just hated on, and it's frustrating. But for some reason, CBS just thought that was the right way to go. I think it's stupid and dumb. But still, I'll be at that game. I know a lot of people are gonna not be happy. how the hell are you gonna? I've seen some funny things on Twitter about pregame, and you're not gonna be drinking at 9 a.m. in the morning. If you are, it's gonna be mimosas. So have fun with that. But I hope it's at least cool for that game. If we're gonna have to be, it's 11 a.m. in the sunny ass weather in Baton Rouge. I hope it's at least cool. So that's really it for today. LSU dominant offense performance. Need to get rid of some of those sacks. That they really LSU's offensive line looks so good as far as blocking and giving Jaden time most of the time. They did look good. And they even showed you with that running performance. I mean, you had 220 yards on the ground. Obviously, some of that is always going to be from Jaden Daniels, but 94 of those yards were from Noah Cain, which he did have that big run. He had that 49-yard touchdown, so that's coming from most of that. But still, I mean, it counts. So offense looked better, and defense is just improving more and more every freaking week, and they just dominated, kept New Mexico to 0. Something you like to see. So yeah. So please like the video, share, listen. I'm trying to get better at this every week. I'm sure most of the people watching watch Matt Moscona. I'm actually going to go shadow his show this Thursday, which is something I'm really excited about. Before I even started this during the summer, I sent him a DM about it, just seeing if I can, watch after him and see how he does everything. Super nice guy. I really look up to him. I love his show. When I really started getting into LSU football, because I've always been an LSU football fan, but once I hit high school, it was just a different level of fan. It was like, okay, I'm really liking this. And towards the end of high school, senior year, I'm like, I really like LSU football. And this is something I could, sports commentating and film study and all that could be something I might want to do. So I'm going to go to his show Thursday. I'm going to film my video Wednesday, release that Wednesday afternoon. But super excited about that. Like I said, and I say this in every video, I'm trying to get better and better at this every day. And I do hear people telling me, and thank you for the people giving me feedback, that I am improving. So there's still a lot to improve on, but I am trying to get better. So LSU beats New Mexico 38-0, dominant performance. You go on the road to Auburn. Your first road game since FSU, but you really couldn't even call out a road game. So this is your first real road game, is at Auburn. I'm looking for not a complete shutout, but like 35-10 type of game. And I think you'll see that. So Tigers get another win. Go on the road, beat Auburn, and you got your biggest game of the year back in Death Valley, Tennessee. Let's see what happens. I'm excited, and go Tigers.